Greetings, my dear friends, and welcome to this curious discussion. Today, we explore a topic that may seem a bit unconventional at first glance. For we shall explore the origins of Dracula, that infamous character of Bram Stoker's novels, and challenge the commonly held belief that Vlad the Impaler was his main source of inspiration. Instead, I propose that we turn our attention to the realm of personal experience and factual events, seeking inspiration from the mysterious and unknown. For Dracula, like all great works of fiction, draws upon a rich tapestry of sources and inspirations, weaving them together to create a tapestry of wonder and intrigue. So let us journey together into the unknown depths of the imagination and uncover the hidden truths behind the legend of Dracula. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more strangely exciting videos. In one of his journal entries, Bram Stoker recounted a peculiar dream in which he encountered a mysterious figure named Count Dracula, who would later become the infamous antagonist of his most renowned novel. In this dream, Stoker found himself wandering alone in a vast forest, feeling lost and disoriented. As he stumbled through the woods, he suddenly encountered a figure dressed in a long black cloak with a pale, gaunt face and sharp, pointed teeth. This figure introduced himself as Count Dracula, a powerful and ancient vampire who had been lurking in the shadows for centuries. Dracula then disclosed his plans to leave his homeland of Transylvania and travel to England, where he intended to spread his curse of vampirism and create an army of the undead. Despite feeling scared and powerless, Stoker found himself strangely fascinated by Dracula and his otherworldly powers. Dracula then beckoned him closer and sunk his fangs into his neck, causing him to feel a sense of ecstasy mixed with terror. When Stoker woke up from the dream, he felt shaken and disturbed by the vivid imagery and sensations he had experienced. However, he also felt a sense of inspiration and knew that he had stumbled upon a brilliant idea for a novel. Bram Stoker's great-grandnephew and a writer in his own right, Dacre Stoker, has suggested that this dream may have been a source of inspiration for Bram Stoker's famous novel, Dracula. In another entry, Stoker recounted an encounter with a group of individuals who he believed to be vampires, which provided inspiration for many of the scenes in the novel. According to Stoker's journal, this encounter took place on a dark and stormy night in the countryside of Ireland. Stoker was traveling alone when he came across a dilapidated old mansion, which he decided to approach in search of shelter from the storm. As he approached the mansion, he noticed that the windows were barred and the doors were locked. However, he managed to find a small crack in the wall and peered inside. To his horror, he saw a group of people gathered in a room, huddled around a coffin. Stoker watched in amazement as the group of people, whom he believed to be vampires, began to perform a ritual around the coffin. They chanted in a language that he did not understand and seemed to be performing some kind of a dark magic. Stoker's fascination with the occult and supernatural is evident throughout his personal journal, where he documented his interest in mysticism, spiritualism, and the darker aspects of human nature. He wrote extensively about attending seances and exploring the world of the supernatural, which inspired many of the themes and motifs in his novels, especially Dracula. Stoker was also deeply interested in the study of mysticism and esotericism, which he explored in his personal life and in his writing. He was fascinated by the idea of hidden knowledge and secret teachings, and he spent much of his life studying various occult traditions and belief systems. Stoker's interest in the supernatural may have been influenced by his upbringing in Ireland, where folklore and superstition were an important part of the culture. He was also exposed to the work of Irish writers who explored supernatural themes, such as William Butler Yeats and Lady Gregory. It is intriguing to ponder why Vlad the Impaler has become synonymous with Dracula as the inspiration for the character. Although Vlad may have influenced some minor characteristics of Dracula, it is evident that Bram Stoker's dream of a mysterious figure named Count Dracula played a more significant role in the development of the character. Perhaps the push to associate Vlad with Dracula is a means to distance the concept of vampires and Dracula from the realm of reality. Let us plunge into the depths of this matter, for it is worth exploring. I shall now expound upon the rich folklore of Ireland and Transylvania, in order to illuminate the fact that Dracula and his vampiric ilk, as portrayed in Bram Stoker's novel, did not spring forth from the loins of Vlad the Impaler. Let's start with Ireland, a country with a rich history and mythology that has greatly influenced the belief in supernatural creatures such as vampires. In Irish folklore, vampires are often portrayed as malevolent spirits that prey on the living. These creatures are said to possess superhuman strength and the ability to shape-shift into various forms, such as a wolf or a bat. Some even believe that they have the power to control the weather and cast spells. One of the most famous Irish vampires is Abhartach, a tyrannical dwarf who terrorized his village and was killed by a local hero. However, Abhartach returned from the dead and demanded that a blood sacrifice be made to him every night to sustain his undead existence. Other Irish vampire legends include the Diarg Dhu, a female vampire who rises from her grave to feed on the blood of the living, and the Baubahan Sith, a vampire-like creature that seduces men before draining their blood. Moving on to Transylvania, the region's vampire folklore is perhaps the most well-known in popular culture, thanks to Bram Stoker's famous novel, Dracula. In Transylvanian folklore, vampires are often portrayed as powerful, immortal beings with the ability to transform into bats or wolves. According to local folklore, the mountains are home to a variety of demons and spirits, many of whom are said to be capable of shape-shifting and taking on human form. One famous example is the Strigoi, a type of vampire that rises from the grave and preys on the living. Other supernatural creatures said to inhabit the mountains include the Varkolak, a werewolf-like creature that hunts at night, and the Ila, a group of fairy-like beings known for their beauty and mischievous nature. While many may dismiss these stories as mere myths, it's important to remember that folklore often holds a grain of truth. Well, you see, my dear friends, the tale of Vlad and Dracula is a curious one indeed. It is said that Vlad's father was a dragon, which undoubtedly adds a mystical and magical element to his story. And while it is possible that Vlad may have known Dracula, it is important to note that Bram Stoker never intended for his infamous character to be based on the historical figure of Vlad the Impaler. Now, why is it important to clarify this matter, you may ask? Well, the exploration of the world of vampires is a fascinating and complex one. And in order to fully understand these creatures of the night, we must start with a clear understanding of their origins and influences. Misconceptions and misunderstandings can only hinder our journey into this mysterious realm. So let us delve deeper into the world of vampire folklore, free from the confusion of inaccuracies and myths. Only then can we hope to truly comprehend the power and allure of these immortal beings. There have been several historical figures who have been associated with the vampire legend and have been rumored to have engaged in vampiric behavior. Some of these figures include Countess Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian noblewoman who was accused of torturing and killing young girls in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. She was rumored to have bathed in the blood of her victims in order to maintain her youth and beauty. Arnold Powell, a Serbian man who died in the early 18th century and was believed to have been a vampire by his fellow villagers. His body was exhumed and found to be in a state of preservation, with blood in his mouth and nails. Peter Plagojevich, another Serbian man who died in the early 18th century and was also believed to have been a vampire. His body was exhumed and found to be in a similar state of preservation as Paoli's. Mercy Brown, a young woman from Rhode Island who died of tuberculosis in 1892. Her body was exhumed and found to have not decomposed as much as expected, leading some to believe she was a vampire. It seems that while certain figures throughout history may have been associated with the idea of vampires in some capacity or another, I can't help but sense that these creatures are something more than mere human beings, In fact, it seems to me that vampires may be more akin to cryptids or even interdimensional entities, rather than anything truly human. These true vampires, as it were, seem to exist on a plane beyond our own, their very nature shrouded in mystery and otherworldly power. I'm feeling quite inspired by this discussion on vampires and their origins. In fact, I believe it might be time for a new video exploring this topic in greater depth. We'll delve into the rich history of vampire lore, drawing on eyewitness accounts and ancient folklore to gain a deeper understanding of these enigmatic creatures. And just like our previous explorations into cryptids such as the Dogmen, we'll approach this investigation with an open mind and a willingness to embrace the unknown. For I believe that vampires, like the Dogmen, exist at the intersection of the physical and the supernatural, their true nature shrouded in mystery and power. So join me, my dear friends, as we embark on a journey into the unknown and explore the fascinating world of the vampires, next time on this channel. For now, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get the truth to the masses. Thank you for being human enough to watch. Until next time.